Feeding America says its food banks could have a shortfall of 6 to 8 billion meals in the next year. AP, why do you keep telling us the same thing over and over again? Ladies and gentlemen, it's because it's not the same thing. This is an article that I would have to say thank you to one of our community members for sending it to me. It was published on the 5th of October, yesterday, and I keep reading these articles for you guys in the hopes that you get the message that we are going into a food shortage crisis. One of my previous videos, I explained that we are in a food shortage crisis. Almost half of the people in this country, in the United States of America, if not more, are currently facing a food shortage crisis, not because there's no food on the shelves, but because they cannot afford to buy food. And now we have the institutions that help those people that cannot afford to buy food saying there's going to be a food shortage crisis because the demand is going to be greater than what we can take care of. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. So I just want to go through this short article with you all in hopes that I can continue to encourage you to look at what's going on, not only in our country, but in the world, which will result in a crisis where food may not be available as readily as it is today. And if it is available as readily as it is today, that it may be out of our price range. Even your price range, you, the person who's listening to this video right now and can afford food right now. That is why it is so important, ladies and gentlemen, that we continue to prepare, that we continue to fill in the gaps in our prepper pantries, if you have one. And if you don't have a prepper pantry or food put away for hard times, that you start putting food away now. Because now is the best time for you to put food away for tomorrow. Because you never know what tomorrow may bring. Ladies and gentlemen, before I read this article for you all, I wanted to read for you a part of a book that I am in the process of reading. And it is a book that one of our community members sent to me. And the name of the book is Cold Times, Preparing for the Mini Ice Age. And it is by Anita Bailey, PhD. And this book is very enlightening. My wife started reading the book along with me as well. And she said, wow, the things in this book are very concerning. And everything in this book, ladies and gentlemen, you can research for yourselves and you will find that throughout history, all of these things have happened in the past. And it says here, we're not discussing the end of the world, of course. We're talking about events like those that can be found repeated many times in the histories of other falling civilizations. That said, my guess is that some of those discontinuities are going to be harsh ones. Those who have braced themselves for serious trouble and reduced their vulnerabilities to a brittle and dysfunctioning system will be more likely to come through this in one piece. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, what Miss Anita Bailey is saying, that those who are prepared have a better chance of making it to the other side. That's what prepping is all about. Part of preparedness is also having the knowledge of those things that have happened in the past so that we can better prepare for them in the future and in the now. That's why I read these articles, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's start. A massive meal shortage is coming, leading food bank says. Feeding America says its food banks could have a shortfall of 6 to 8 billion meals next year. Many people lost their jobs this year because of the health crisis, which means that many families have turned to food banks to ensure meals could be put on the table over the past couple of months. But what happens when the leading network of food banks in America predicts it will experience a massive food shortage within the next year? Feeding America, a hunger relief organization and nationwide network of more than 200 food banks, recently reported that it could face a deficit of up to 10 billion pounds of food between now and June of 2021, which translates to about 8 billion meals. In July, the organization predicted that people will rely on its food banks for as much as 17 billion pounds of food over the next 12 months, more than 3 times the distribution Feeding America had last year. In 2019, the national food insecurity rate slightly decreased, according to a new USDA report. About 10.5% of households, or 1 in 10, were unable to afford nutritious food for their family in 2019, which was down about 0.6% points from the year prior. In fact, last year has seen the lowest food insecurity rate since before 2008 recession. But in 2020, the number of Americans dealing with hunger is skewing upwards. Early this year, Feeding America estimated that as many as 54 million people in the U.S. could experience food insecurity due to this health crisis. For perspective, 35.2 million people faced hunger last year. According to the U.S. Census Bureau's most recent Household Pulse survey, which was fielded between August 19th and August 31st, about 10% of American adults, which is about 22.3 million, reported they didn't have enough food to eat in the past week. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 22.3 million adults, and that's not even considering the children that did not have enough food to eat. Prior to this health crisis, 18 million Americans reported the same. Now, food banks are concerned they won't be able to provide families with the sustenance they need to survive. Not only has a dramatic nationwide job loss contributed to a major shortfall in food banks, but the number of donations and volunteers have also both been on the decline. A survey that Feeding America conducted in the middle of September revealed that member food banks experience an average of 56% increase in demand. Major food assistance programs such as SNAP have also experienced shortfalls during this health crisis, which has put immense pressure on food banks to have the resources to feed millions of Americans. Ladies and gentlemen, it just doesn't seem to be getting much better for the average person out there. If you are blessed enough to be able to buy food for your family on a regular basis and not need assistance, thank the good Lord that you are blessed enough to do so. However, I do know that when we have a systemic crisis such as this, eventually it will affect all of us. That is why I say prepare, ladies and gentlemen. Being prepared is just a way to be able to mitigate the downfall of yours and your family's standard of living. So prepare while you can. Thank the good Lord that you're able to prepare. And if you're on a limited income, then you can always budget a way to do payday preps. If you're new to this channel and you don't know what a payday prep is, I'll go ahead and leave a card on the upper right hand corner of this video so that you can click on it and see all of the videos that I've made throughout the years showing people how they can prep on the cheap and giving people different ideas on what they can prep. I hope that you're all still prepping, ladies and gentlemen. Don't stop. Even if things start to look good, continue to prep, because we do not know what tomorrow is going to bring. We just don't. Having said that, thank you very much for joining in. I appreciate you guys spending a little bit of time here today. This is my second video today, but I thought that this was an important article to put out there to at least try to wake up some of those that may not be in the know about what is coming ahead in reference or in regard to the food shortage that we will be facing in the future. We still have time to prep, ladies and gentlemen. Some people may not, but those of you that do, continue to prep and or start to prep. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to every one of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper, and I'm out.